Okay guys, so I wanted to apologize. I know I said I'd be doing these reviews once a week, but two things happened very recently. Well, about a few months ago, my PS4 controller, my only one, got water damaged, and just recently, I was able to finally get a brand new one, and I've been playing my PS4 for a while, and I have been catching up on Game of Thrones. By the way, guys, I am fully caught up now. I've seen the last episode, and and also, one of my best friends came back into town, and I really wanted to see them as much as I possibly could before they left. But now that I have everything cleared, let's get into my favorite season so far.
Come for a last look.
Alright, okay, so Game of Thrones Season 4 is Season 4 of the amazing HBO fantasy drama series. And if you haven't seen this show, you owe it to yourself to at least check it out, at least the first season. Well, the first season is the weakest season for me, but once you get to Season 2, it's like, you don't want to stop watching the show. Now, I just want to let you guys know right now, Season 4 of Game of Thrones is my absolute favorite season so far. Now, just like my previous 3 reviews of the previous 3 Game of Thrones seasons, I'm not going to talk all about the plot because we'd be here for an hour doing this. And my Game of Thrones Season 3 review was almost 20 minutes. I'm going to try and dim that down a lot because I don't want this video to be too long. But my god, Season 4 had so much amazing stuff happen in it. So I'm going to do just like the previous reviews. I'm going to talk about the pros and a con, I guess. Oh, and yes, by the way, before I go any further, just like the previous videos, spoiler warning. If you have not seen Season 4 of Game of Thrones, go back and watch it, then come back here, and if not, welcome. Anyways guys, let's talk some spoilers for Game of Thrones Season 4. Okay guys, I have to talk about this particular episode right now because this episode made me so damn happy when I first watched it. And that is The Lion and the Rose Wedding, aka the Purple Wedding. Oh my god, I had the biggest grin. That is until the Battle of the Bastards episode. Now if you guys had seen Game of Thrones up until this point, you guys know that Joffrey is like the biggest dick. Well, that is until Ramsay takes his place. I mean, Ramsay, everyone had been telling me that, you know, someone would take Joffrey's place, and Ramsay sure as hell did. But anyways, so in this episode, Joffrey and Marjorie, they get married, and the entire wedding is just this uncomfortable place to be. Everyone is awkward, everybody doesn't want to be there. Joffrey is laughing at things that aren't funny, and Marjorie is the one person, I know I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong, if so, I apologize, but Marjorie is the only person there that is diffusing the tension in this entire episode. Like, this entire episode takes place, well, not the entire episode, but I would say about 75 to 8% of it takes place at Joffrey's wedding. And the entire time Joffrey is being at its lowest low in terms of being an asshole. Like, he is treating everybody like a piece of shit. After this one little event happens where apparently Joffrey won, the Battle of Blackwater, I think it was. They were saying someone else must battle for my reign or something. And so he has Tyrion. Tyrion says, I think I've had enough of war today, my grace. And so he says, why don't you go up? Surely a king can defend himself, right? Joffrey's been like, oh, no, you didn't. He goes over to Tyrion, pours all that wine on Tyrion. And then Tyrion, again, tries to keep his cool the entire time because you know that Tyrion just wants to kill this sort of a bitch like we all did. Joffrey makes Tyrion his cupbearer, and also Sansa is still married to Tyrion for now. Sansa tries to get away from it, and Joffrey says, no, you are not supposed to leave, you're my cupbearer. And so then, apparently this pie is very, very dry. Tyrion hands him his goblet of wine. He drinks it, and he starts to cough a little bit. And so Tyrion says, I want to leave, please. And so Joffrey's like, no, you'll wait. And at that point, I just thought this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I won't lie to you guys. I knew about this happening even before I actually started watching Game of Thrones, but watching the events leading up to this moment made this so much more satisfying. Joffrey just, oh my god, he is just choking to death. Cersei goes over to him. His face. Oh my god, that. Oh, I cannot tell you guys right now how much my smile went up. Fuck you, Joffrey. Yes! Joffrey, I hated him, but I loved him at the same time. But then we had... Anyways, if you guys also remember during this episode, Sansa was being rescued by Baelish, by Peter Baelish, and he brings her to Sansa's, I think, aunt? Yeah, her aunt, oh my god, her Aunt Elise. I think that's her name, but you know, the one that was nursing her son Robin at the age of 12? Yeah, that crazy bitch. So Sansa is in the courtyard and she's building this little snow castle. Robin comes in and then he says, you know, where's the moon door? The moon door, you know, that's where the people die if Robin doesn't like them. And Robin says, let's make the moon door right there. And then so Robin completely ruined Sansa's snow castle. Sansa and them would argue, and then so Robin is just acting like the biggest spoiled brat right here. And then Sansa gives Robin the biggest slap to the face. And right here, I was just like, thank you! Finally! Like, seriously, about time somebody gave Robin a smack to the face. Baelish comes out and Sansa's like, I should not have done that. His mother should have done that. Thank you for doing that. But then Peter makes the most what moment. Peter kisses Sansa and Lys. I think her name is Lys or something. She catches them kissing. So she opens up the moon door, calls Sansa, and she nearly throws her out. Peter comes in and tries to convince her about everything. And then Peter does again the most amazing that made me clap. He just pushes that bitch out of the moon door. And I cheered and I clapped. That was awesome. Now in season 3, Aria almost gets home. She almost sees her mother for the first time in such a long time. But then the Red Wedding happens, and then the Hound, you know, takes her along, you know, his wing. And they have this little, I guess, crusade, I guess you could say, going through the woods. And they get to this one bar where they're all praising King Joffrey. And then so the Hound at one point just says, fuck the king. Aria just has the cutest little grin on her face. This whole bar brawl breaks out. Aria, you know, takes back her blade called Needle and stabs the dude right in the throat like he stabbed her friend. And it felt so damn amazing to watch. Season 4, Joffrey dies, and I believe it's the next episode. I think after episode 2, Jaime rapes Cersei. Jaime has his moments where, you know, he could be a good person, but this is one of the moments that I was just like, Jaime, you're gonna have to do some serious good shit in order for me to not hate you after this. Thankfully it does in season 5, but here, it's, oh my god. Now, personally, for me, Daenerys wasn't the most compelling character this season because Tyrion, for me, was the most compelling character this season for me. And this season, at one point, I find out that her advisor and her closest friend, Horad, had been spying on her. Khaleesi says, bye-bye, Horad. And I felt so bad because I love that character. I think he is so badass and he is such a great fighter. And he is partly the reason why Daenerys is still alive. Well, besides her other army and her other advisor. But Horad is partly the reason why that Daenerys is still alive, particularly in season 5, which I'll get to and I believe in about a week or two. Horad basically spends season 5 to gain back to Khaleesi or to Daenerys, just to let you guys know. Oh, that's right. How could I forget about this episode? The Watchers on the Wall. Now, I was raving about Blackwater. I thought that the Blackwater episode of Game of Thrones in season 2 was an absolutely perfectly executed episode from start to finish. I was riveted throughout the entire thing. People are telling me, wait till season 4 because oh my god, it gets good. And wow, Watchers on the Wall was absolutely enthralling from start to finish. If you guys had remembered, in season 3, Jon had formed a little romance with Ygritte, one of the wildlings. Now, Ygritte at this point wants to kill Jon, even though that she loves him. The wildlings came very, very close to defeating the Night's Watch. And then at one point, Jon goes down, fights for, the watch, and Ygritte comes in, and it looks like, and they're face to face. Jon and Ygritte are face to face, but then, boom, Ygritte gets shot. And she dies in Jon's arms. And I felt so bad for Jon, because this was like the one time that Jon felt happy, but then everything just got screwed over for him. And even more so in season 5. Well, a few people, not the entire watch. Watchers on the Wall was an absolutely incredible episode. Apparently this episode was released in IMAX. If I had watched Game of Thrones before this, I would have been in the IMAX theater, been like, oh my god, this is so cool. But I want Battle of the Bastards to be in IMAX, but then again, we're talking about season 4 right now. Alright guys, now time for me to talk about, I think, the main story arc in season 4, and that was Tyrion. Now Tyrion had been framed, well not really framed, but Cersei was the one who thought that Tyrion was the one who had poisoned Joffrey. So Tyrion is being put on trial, and this trial is the most unfair trial. Pretty much everyone on this trial hates Tyrion minus one person, but pretty much everyone is giving their testimony, and one of them is completely lies, and that is Tyrion's former lover, Shae. And Shae, if you guys remember, was the whore that Tyrion met in season 2, and they were all in love. Then at one point Tyrion doesn't want her to die, tells her to fuck off pretty much, and Shae feels so hurt to the point where she completely lies about everything, well minus a few things, but she completely lies about everything else. Tyrion is heartbroken, and also before this, Jaime says, if you go by this, you will not get death penalty. You will not. You're just gonna be in jail or even exiled to the Night's Watch. Just please do this for me. Tyrion looks like he's about to do this for a little bit, and then finally Tyrion just gives the most badass speech saying, you know what, I have to confess, for being a dwarf, I have been on trial my whole life, and I saved you all in the Battle of Blackwater, and you know what? I wish I would have killed Joffrey. When I heard his whole speech, I was clapping that whole time. I was so freaking happy, and I felt so satisfied that Tyrion said, you ungrateful little shits. I wish I would have poisoned Joffrey myself. It gave me every amount of pleasure. And I just spat. And then he says, I demand trial by combat. Oh my god, that entire speech. That speech alone was a 5 out of 5 for the episode, for the season, I mean. God damn! Okay, so now Tyrion's trial by combat is about to arrive. Jaime cannot help him because Jaime lost his good sword hand. But basically Tyrion gets the help of someone unknown. I can't remember what his name was, but this guy was awesome with a spear. And so Cersei takes this fucking huge ass guy. I mean huge. But basically it's because like, you raped my sister and you killed her. For some reason, I don't know why I was thinking of Princess Bride of Inigo Montoya saying, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepared to die. That entire fight in this episode reminded me of that fight in Princess Bride, and it was so satisfying. The guy looks like he's about to defeat Cersei's champion, but then he knocks him right out. Oh my god, he just gives him like the meanest hook, and he goes down and says, yes, I raped and I killed your sister. He freaking gouges his eyes out, and then just freaking explodes his head. And then I was just like, oh fuck. Now at this point Tyrion is screwed. He's sentenced to death at this point. And then so Jaime breaks him out of prison. He grabs a little crossbow and he sees Shae on Tywin's bed. That fucking bitch. He just strangles Shae. And you know what? The girl deserved it. She freaking lied to him and then went to Tywin. She was fucking his dad. That's fucked up. And I just said fuck twice there. 3 times there. Sorry guys. Tywin's on the shitter. And so Tyrion kills his dad. I won't lie, there's a few times where I have felt pity or empathy for Tywin, but at this one point I was just like, you know what, Tyrion? Kill the bastard. I mean, sadly it's his own father, but you understand Tyrion's pain the whole time, and Tyrion escapes, and that whole trial, that whole thing was absolutely intense as hell. The trial by combat, the whole Telltale game style thing, funny enough, Telltale Games actually make a Game of Thrones game, which I'm currently playing, and it's unbelievably awesome. But anyways. Now, in terms of cons, I guess the scene where Cersei rapes Jaime, I guess, was a little much. But honestly, it's just a tiny little nitpick, because I heard it was changed from the source material where apparently it was consensual between Jaime and Cersei. Otherwise, I don't really have a comment with the season at all. I freaking loved Season 4. Game of Thrones Season 4 is my absolute favorite season to date. There was not a single part in Season 4 that dragged for me. I was enthralled by every single episode from start to finish. This season had so much conflict, so many shocking twists, and the most satisfaction until Battle of the Bastards in Season 6. But overall, Season 4 of Game of Thrones gets a 5 out of 5. I loved Season 4 completely. It was an absolute joy to watch, and I think this is Game of Thrones' masterpiece in terms of season. I freaking loved this season. Alrighty guys, so Game of Thrones Season 4. Comment down, let me know below. What were your favorite parts of Season 4 of Game of Thrones? Let me know below. If you guys enjoyed my review of Season 4 of Game of Thrones, please like and share this video. Click right here. And, as always, until the next review, I will see you all next time.